Start the recording?
Because you got a long day tomorrow.
I got a really long day tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Start the stream. Hit the go live button. And we're live here on Facebook. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also like to welcome my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
Doing good, Mike. So finally caught up with work after being gone for what amounted to a week in business days.
Yeah.
From vacation.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So really nothing new here. The state track meet, the state cross country meet, the Brimfield boys took 6th.
Ooh, nice.
In Division 2A, and nephew Brady did, I think it was like a 14-18.
Nice.
To help his team finish.
I don't know what that means, really. I genuinely.
That's his time.
Yeah, I know that's his time, but how? What's the distance?
2 mile.
What?
It's 2 mile. 2 mile as a 6th grader.
Oh, okay.
14-18.
Okay, that's not bad. That's decent.
No, not at all.
Just
Great
over
finish for
just over a 7-minute average. That's not bad for 6th grade. That's great.
Yeah, of course. Yep. And then so it was cool to get to see that, and because the Brimfield girls team actually took home the state title as junior high. At junior high, it was really neat.
That's awesome.
Getting to see the team getting escorted into town with the volunteer fire department, getting to ride on the fire trucks with the sirens going off.
Nice.
Yeah, people clapping on the side of the road as they were going through the town square. It was really neat to see.
We'll see if that happens in a month or so. Speaking of which,
but yeah,
we're going to talk about esports later. My week's been great. It's been work's been a little crazy, but I got it. I got things caught to a point that I could leave today at like 3:20. So that felt good. I was home. I had like 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes before the wife and kids got home. Mm-hmm. Set some plans up for tomorrow. Ooh, it's going to be a long day, but it's good. And a
short story, Mike. Do you have a new car yet? Is that
no,
still a work in progress?
It's a work in progress. It's tomorrow morning. I'm leaving at 5 a.m. from Estherville to head to Eau Claire, Wisconsin to hopefully buy a car. But I'm willing to walk away from everything. Because rule number 1 of buying a car, Rich, is
you got to be willing to walk away.
You got to walk away. Okay, but
all right,
we got a pretty important show, pretty packed show for the week. So let's get into it. I mentioned already we are going to talk about esports. I got a great story to tell you about the esports team. This might not even be a quick hits thing, but we will talk about esports as I represent. And you might be able to buy stuff soon, Rich. Like next week, I should be able to put the link in the description next week.
All right. So, on top of the esports, we'll be doing our normal topics of the MLB playoffs, NASCAR, and the NFL. And this week, we're going to give you NBA predictions as well. But Mike, what do we got to do first, buddy?
We got to roll that intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And we're back. Okay, Rich, before we get to anything, last week we had a poll question. Now I got to find it.
We did. Our poll question last week, while you're bringing up the results, Mike, we're going to go with breakfast foods. We're going to do cereal. We're going to alternate between cereal and a breakfast entree, other than cereal. And so last week Mike started us off with cereal, and he said Cinnamon Toast Crunch will take on Golden Grahams. So Mike, I voted for Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's good without milk. It's good, but I think I almost prefer just eating it cold out of the bowl, just snacking on it, using it as a snack.
I can't find it, Rich.
You can't find it.
No, normally like Facebook. I hate Facebook.
So I'll bring it up on my phone. I can find it really quick. Where did you go, Mike?
I voted Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, that's
Okay,
the
any reason
only.
why?
It's the only thing worthwhile. I mean, that's the greatest breakfast cereal of them all. So maybe it got posted in a different spot. No, no.
No. I got it up. I got it up. So,
We
the
got a lot of
votes.
discussion on it too.
Oh, we did. So it was 15 votes for Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Shout out goes out to Jeffrey Stroop, Debbie Scranton, Bobby Hanson, Lena Grogi, Heather Marie, my brother Josh, Danielle, Jory Buckhard, Lily Driscoll, Austin Streetbeck, Nick Seaman, you, Jenny Kincaid, myself, and Mark Stewart.
Yeah.
Voting for Golden Grams. They Golden Grams did get 8 votes.
What?
Shout outs go to
Crazy.
Kayla Nelson, Solo Stroop, Eisenstroop, Monica Bacon, Joel Holman, Greg Johnson, Mickey Roderer, and Jake Walker.
Okay. So I do have we had 3 comments when from where I shared it.
Okay, go ahead.
1, Sue Hart, yuck.
To both. Wow.
Yeah. Mikey O'Roderer, Golden Grams. It's not even close.
All right.
And shout out to Nick Seaman. Give me Cinnamon Toast Crunch or give me death.
All right. So thank you everybody that commented on the post. Just a reminder that if you comment on it on our Facebook poll of the week or on this live video, we'll make sure to give you a shout out as well as if you vote in our poll. So yeah. So Mike, do you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch with milk or without milk more?
With milk. And the thing is that Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk tastes so dang good. But you were gonna say,
yeah, I can see that, but for whatever reason, I can't drink milk.
oh,
Just milk straight. So if I eat my cereal, I'm dumping in more cereal so I don't dump out that milk.
oh, so you become the milk first because of the milk is already in there guy, not the
No. For my cereal, it's like the cereal goes in the bowl, milk goes on top.
and then you pour
So I
more
eat my
cereal in.
And then because I have leftover milk. So
Right.
I put in more cereal.
So after the first bowl, it then becomes milk than cereal.
Yes.
But then your milk is man. I see. The only time I really like to drink milk is after a bowl of cereal, and it has to be like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, any of the ones that give it really good flavor. By the way, real quick, it will be one of our questions, or it'll be one of the things for our questions. But did Trix gaslight us as millennial / Gen Xers?
I don't know. Where are you going with it?
Okay. When we were kids, what did they say about tricks? Tricks are for
Silly
kids.
Rabbit, they're for kids.
But the bigger thing was, I'm pretty sure, wasn't tricks the ones that had shapes that looked like fruits and only kids could see it? And now that we're adults, they're not in those shapes anymore? Or can the kids see them? We just don't because we've gotten old.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna bring.
You might have to bring that up when we bring up Trix cereal. Maybe we'll do that next week for 2 weeks poll. We'll bring in the Trix cereal matchup, so you can also put that as a sub poll or as a second poll. All right, but Mike, this week we're going to go over to the breakfast entrees, and we're going to go French toast versus grits. We'll get that up live after the show. And you can find those polls over on Fans of Balls and Sticks regular page, as well as probably more than likely Mike and I will share that post as well.
Okay, Rich, just a heads up, I am sending you a quote on Facebook.
Okay, I will have to take a look at it after we get off of here.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, never mind. I found it. Okay, so they did bring back the fruit shapes, but it was after people complained. Oh, I guess
the colored little balls.
Yeah. They had like
Okay.
color. Yeah, it was weird. Okay, let's go. Let's go talk the NBA predictions. Rich, this is picking names out of a hat.
It really is, and I don't really think it's picking names out of a hat. Maybe which order they're going to be in, but really I think it's who you think the last two playoff teams are going to be. Because I think because I'm pretty sure we're more than likely going to agree on probably the first five. It's teams 6, 7, and 8 that we're probably going to be different on. So, Mike, let's start over in the Eastern Conference, who I think that's a little bit harder to pick. A little bit harder to pick once you get down into the lower playoff seeds. But I'm going to have my number one overall team in the East be the Milwaukee Bucks.
Sorry, I'm doing a couple things. My number one overall team is going to. Oh man, this sucks. I'm gonna pick the Boston Celtics.
The Celtics. All right, not a bad choice. That's who I have as number 2.
Number 2, I am going to pick. We're in the East, right?
We are doing the East first, Mike. Yes.
Okay. This is actually that's where I'll put the Bucks probably.
Okay. As my number 3 team, Mike, I went with the Miami Heat. I don't know if they, in my opinion, it doesn't feel like they made any big offseason additions. They were wanting to get Damian Lillard. That's where he was wanting to go before he ultimately got traded to the Bucks instead. But they're a consistent team that you know are going to be in the playoffs. It's just where they're going to be seated. So I might have them a little high, but
I am going to put Cleveland here.
All right, that's a good spot. I have the Cavs as my number 4 team.
My number 4 team is going to be. I got to think here. I'm going to pick. I'm making sure when I look at this. Is Memphis in the West? Memphis is in West. Why is Memphis in West? That doesn't make sense.
Because the team used to be located in Vancouver, which is more on the West Coast.
I'm gonna pick. Again. Oh, I'm gonna pick Miami.
Miami. Okay.
Yep.
Why don't we do this here, Mike? Since you're making it up on the spot, I'm going to give you the next 4 teams, so that you have time to complete your next 4, Mike. And for my number 5, I'm going to go with Philly. Things could get interesting if James Harden decides to continue playing hardball and pulling his best Allen Iverson with I'm not going to show up for practice. I want to be traded. And not wanting to play ball with the 76ers.
That would be my next team too, by the way.
Okay. Then I went with the New York Knicks. And this is where, after the 76ers, this is where I'm just sort of throwing darts at the board and hoping one sticks. Because 7 and 8, I'm really not confident at all. I'm just guessing, and I'm going with the Brooklyn Nets and the Indiana Pacers.
So I like the Knicks as well. That'll be my next pick. My pick after that, let me just make sure. Sorry, I gotta. Okay, my picks after that are gonna be the Hawks.
Okay. And your final team to make the playoffs, because we're not going to give the play-in tournament team. You got to make the play-in tournament is made so to make the playoffs. So who would be your final team to make the playoffs as team number 8?
I like the Pacers.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Mike. So while you're getting your West team together, I'm going to give you mine 1 through 8. So number one, I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets, the defending champions. They haven't lost any major players, so until somebody can prove that they're better, I'm going to go with Denver. Nice, consistent team, I think, even though I don't follow basketball. Number two, I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns. They brought in Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal to go along Devin Booker. So it could be a star-laden team that might need to get used to playing with each other and figuring out how all the shots are going to go around with that many scorers that many guys that are probably used to be number one scorers, the number one scoring option on their team. But I think by the time that the playoffs come around, they'll have things figured out. Number three, I went with the Warriors because why not? Number four, I went with the Kings. Nice up and coming team. Um, and this is where I'm kind of not sure where to rank these teams, but I went with the Lakers. So I think LeBron's got something to prove after his team missed the playoffs last year. I'm going to go with the Grizzlies at number five, the Mavericks at number six, and the Clippers at number eight. But with the story with the Clippers is can Kawhi Leonard and Paul George stay healthy for long enough stretches that they actually get to play together? As that really hasn't happened since those two joined forces, since those two stars came together for the Clippers. So, Mike, who do you got?
I'm going to start off with the Nuggets. I actually feel confident in the Grizzlies as my number two.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the Pelicans at number three, the Suns at number four,
Okay.
the Kings at number five,
Three more teams, Mike.
the Warriors at number six,
Okay. And the two teams
Clippers
making
and the Thunder.
the Thunder. Okay.
Yeah, I veered off a little bit from you there.
Not much. I mean, the thing with the Grizzlies, though, that makes them a curious team to play is that John Morant is going to be suspended. I think it's for a portion of the season. So that'll be how will they do with the absence of their star player, which is why I am down a little bit lower. And I'm a little bit surprised by your pick of the Pelicans. I think there's a lot of talent on that team, but a lot of it depends on if Zion Williamson can stay healthy.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah,
I mean, I think they have the talent. And again, let me look real quick.
but I also picked a team like the Clippers that have where we're wondering what this team could be if the star players could stay healthy.
I'm gonna go back to the NFL. You put just as a point,
Okay.
similar to what I'm doing here with the Pelicans.
Okay.
You did the same thing with the Dolphins.
If their star can stay healthy.
If their star stays
Yeah.
healthy, they're going to be in. By the way, if their star stays healthy, the Pelicans are going to be a great team.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to pick the Nuggets over the Bucks as my finals.
All right.
Because the people of Denver need something to cheer for.
Yeah, they do. For my finals, I think that there's a lot of star talent on the Suns.
Yeah,
So-
they're a great team.
So So I'm going to go with the star power wins it, and I'm going to go with the Suns over the Bucks.
Are you at all intrigued by doing by? Are you going to try to watch any NBA this year?
No, probably not.
Okay. I watched games last year.
You did?
Yeah, I watched a couple.
All right. All right, Mike. Anything else on the hardwood, or do we get to leave the hardwood until the All-Star break?
That was more hardwood than I care to talk about.
Gotcha. Well, Mike, let's go from the hardwood. Let's go over to the baseball diamond.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get some playoff updates. The ALCS, the Astros, or the Houston baseball team, the Asterix, whoever you want to call them.
Yep.
Are taking on the Texas Rangers, and that series really took a turn. Probably a turn for the worse for both of us, as neither of us wanted to see the Houston Astros win, but it's been the road teams have ruled this series, as Texas won the first two games in down in Houston. They go up to Arlington, and the Astros have taken the last three games, twice with come from behind victories, and they're up 3-2. Mike, over on the National League side, the Phillies Diamondbacks game is currently going, and the Phillies lead that series 2-1. Game 4 is currently being played, and it's 4-2. Phillies in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, I was really hoping Verlander would show up tonight and do his normal Verlander playoff thing and basically blow the entire game away and lose. Apparently that didn't happen.
Well, Verlander was the one that I was going through I was out driving, picking up some dinner tonight, and Verlander did have a kind of an un-Verlander-like performance in the postseason, as he gave up a 3-run, what ended up at the time was a 3-run game-leading home run, and they pulled him because after he gave up the home run, he allowed a single and a double. And Dusty Baker had to go get him, but the Astros fought back to win tonight's game.
By the way, you said the only reason why at all I would care if that team wins a World Series.
For Dusty Baker.
I want him to win it. I don't want him to win it with that team, especially that short little man.
And it'd be his second World Series in a row if he can guide the Astros to another title.
He deserves it, but man, I hate that team.
Yeah. So, but Mikey, you might have a chance though, as it's maybe the road team. I think the series is going to go 7 games.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'd like to see the Rangers pull it out.
So would I. I'm rooting for the Rangers in this one too. It'd be, if they can make it to the World Series, I think they could have the opportunity to win their first World Series in franchise history.
Okay, Rich, do you see what's coming up next?
Mike, is it a left-hand turn?
It is. You see what's after that?
Is it another left-hand turn?
That it is, because we're heading into the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs in Moline on 5th Avenue or on their eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Rich, last week we were at Vegas. We had some friends of the show at that race. Good job, Tony and Heather, for going and seeing that. They just moved out there, by the way. Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. I put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Okay.
That they have moved out there. So, Mike, the race winner was Kyle Larson, who you picked as your playoff driver. Nicely done, Mike. That is your first race winner of the year.
Yeah, I know.
Of the NASCAR year. And your non-playoff driver did pretty well too, as Kyle Busch finished 3rd.
So, and I won't say that for this year, because this year's rules are established and we will hold to those. But if Kyle Busch would have gotten 2nd, should I have gotten 4 points? Maybe not this year, but maybe a consideration for years later.
I'd be okay with that if you had 1-2.
If you have 1-2 in the
Getting a second
playoffs.
bonus. Getting another bonus point, yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact that I was that close to it is crazy. Let alone.
It really is. It really is.
Let alone. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought my 2 picks did pretty well too, as Denny Hamlin still finished 10th, and Ross Chastain came in 5th on the race.
Like, legit, most weeks, that could have been a winning lineup for 2 points.
Could have been.
Like, most weeks, that could have gotten you 2 points. This week, I got a little lucky.
You've really been doing. You've really made a strong comeback with these playoff picks, as you're up 12-3. So the best I can do is tie you for the playoffs.
But if you tie me for the playoffs, you win.
Oh yeah. As they're in the overall standings, because of how dominant you have been with your picks, of at least getting 1 point every week and not being shut out, you've taken over the overall lead 25-21. So there's 4 points.
Yeah.
So 4-point difference. So yeah, there's still a chance for me to come back on the overall. The best I can do on the playoffs is tie.
Yeah.
So Mike, did you get a chance to watch any of the race?
Yeah, I did. We watched the second half of the race. I don't remember. Yeah, we watched a bit of it. It was great driving. I enjoyed it. Kyle Larson was dominant all day. Like, legitimately, if he didn't win, I don't know. What's his face? Coming up from, was it Bell that was right behind him who finished second?
Yeah, I think it was Bell.
He had a strong run there. He was catching him. Larson, I think 5 more laps, it would have been so interesting to see how, with lap traffic and with all of that, who would have won. But Larson had the car most of the day, and then Bell he came trying. Kyle Busch made something out of what at the beginning of the day wasn't great too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't remember much about the race. I think we watched much like what happens when you're watching NASCAR. You start to watch. You watch the beginning, the middle part. You're dozing off, falling asleep, in and out, and you wake up just in time for the end to see the end of it. So that's what happened with me when you were calling me to probably talk about the race at the end of it. I was still coming out of that NASCAR nap, and just no, I'm not going to take that call.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well,
don't feel like talking.
I probably could have figured. I probably should have figured that out when I looked at when I texted you if I get 1 and 2, do I get 4 points? To no response. I probably should have realized at that point that you were NASCAR napping, and that's fine. That's what NASCAR's for. So, Rich, your picks at Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain did great. 5 and 10. Hamlin finishing 10, Chastain finishing 5. This week we head down to Homestead.
Ooh. Hold on, before we start talking about Homestead, let's give how the Fantasy NASCAR did.
Yeah.
Fantasy NASCAR, points wise, Dupo was third with 205. Mike, you came in second with 209, and I won the week with 229. For the playoffs, just for the playoff races, Dupo has the lead with 1340. I'm in second with 1300 even, and Mike, you're in third with 1185.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
All right, Mike.
And so the bottom 4 have
dropped off.
Not done anything since the playoffs.
Yes,
I don't think
they have chosen not to continue playing. They have not registered an entry for playoff races.
Yeah. That's okay. We love you guys too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rich, next part of the playoffs takes us down to Miami. Actually, Homestead, for the forever 400.
presented by Mobile One.
Yeah.
Mobile One Oil. So, yeah. So, Mike, you have the honors. Who are you going to be your two drivers?
I'm going to take William Byron and Chase Elliott.
Any reasons, Mike?
Well, traditionally, we actually do see that Hendricks cars do quite well in Miami. And on top of it, Byron probably needs a win to get in. No, I'm wrong. He's way better than that. Let me look.
So Mike, with the results of
he's
Vegas,
in second. Okay,
yeah,
so he'll be fine.
Kyle Larson is locked in. William Byron is plus 9. Yeah, he's plus 9. Martin Truex and Denny Hamlin are both plus 2.
Right. So the fact that, you're within 9 points. If you have one bad day, somebody's got to win. Kyle Larson is so sit and pretty. Like, they can make decisions that, and like, especially late race decisions, giving up state. Like, in theory, by the way, this is a great week for Kyle Larson. He can, in theory, decide, hey, you know what? We would like to, we're going to, at the end of the race, we're medium track position. We're going to give up track position, get fresh tires. If everybody else is on old stinky tires,
mm-hmm.
and he could do something that, like, and then the back half of the field takes it. He could very easily, if has a chance, be set to just drive around these guys with good fresh tires. Because what does he care about track position right now?
He doesn't need the win. He's locked in. He's going to go to Phoenix with a chance to race for the championship, regardless of what happens the next 2 weeks.
Right. If he thinks that tires are going to help him win, he can roll that gamble. Or on the opposite side, if he's in the lead, he can stay out until basically he runs out of gas and not care all that much. If he's close on gas.
Or he helps his teammate, William Byron, maybe get...
Yeah. I don't think he would do that, but yeah, he could. So, fun race. I love Miami. I'm still upset that NASCAR has taken it off as the final race of the weekend. So, yeah. Okay, Rich, who are you picking?
I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick. He's
good.
Tyler Reddick. He's got a really good track history at Homestead, Miami, and with how far he is below the cut line, being in the 5th position, -16, he probably needs a win. Yeah. As it's a little easier for him to get a win here than it is at Martinsville. And I'm going to go with the retiring Kevin Harvick, who also has a good track record here in Miami as a non-playoff driver.
Okay. Rich, anything else?
I do not have anything else.
Then what should we do?
All right, Mike, let's leave the NASCAR Corner, which is always presented by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, down on 5th Avenue, wherever you can find them on eBay. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. All right, Mike, so going from the tri-oval, or the oval of NASCAR, over to the gridiron. Mike, tell us how our Week 6 coverage went for Locks of the Week.
Oh, Locks of the Week were a little rough for us, Rich. I picked the Eagles over the Jets. The Jets pulled it off 20-14, dropping me to 3-3. Rich, you picked the Niners over the Browns. Those pesky Browns pulled it off, dropping you down to 3-3. Rich, how'd our upsets do?
Well, you did a little bit better on upsets, or at least you did, as the Texans did beat the Saints 20-13, and bringing you up to 500 on upsets. But my Seahawk pick over the Bengals did not come through, as the Bengals won 17-13, dropping my record to 4-2. How'd those Bears do?
Well, I said that the Vikings would win. You said the Bears would win. I was correct, as the Vikings won 19-13. Dropping you to 3-3 and raising me to 3-3. We are tied with the Bears record with our predictions of who the Bears would win. Now, Rich, did you get a chance to watch that game at all?
I did not. My wife and I think we were watching some Ted Lasso before the NASCAR race, and then switched over to NASCAR.
So I did watch the game, and
Okay.
the Bears did much better than I expected them to.
Okay.
They looked semi-competitive. Now, you could argue that it's a divisional game. You could argue that the Vikings are that bad. I don't think it's either. I think it's them trying to prove they're not tanking. They're not. No, not taking. I think
so. They won a game that
they lost a game. The Bears lost a game by looking competitive. And I think that's kind of what last week was more looking like. So,
well, yeah, that game also did see Justin Fields go down with a hand injury.
Yeah.
And he has been he was not put on the IR, but he is out indefinitely, and the coaching staff and Eberflus is being very secretive and beating around the bush as far as when he could be back.
If ever.
If ever.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. And then Thursday night football.
Hang on, one more thing. I gotta say one more thing in this game. So we put in our backup, right? First drive. Okay. I'm gonna give you the play sequence, okay?
All right.
Snap, quick throw right on the line to have blockers for your receiver to go downfield. Gets them about 6 or 7 yards. I don't remember all the way. By the way, they threw to the left side.
All right.
Then they do the exact same play to the right side. It gets busted. So what do you think they did the third play, Rich? Let's go back to the left side. Yeah. 3 plays in a row, that's what they did. Then, okay, it's time to punt, right? Nope. Now let's run a short out or a short in route and throw an incomplete pass at the 50-yard line.
Didn't Badgett also have a strip sack fumble that got returned for a touchdown?
Yep. Now, I'm not blaming the backup quarterback, but I do question why would that be an actual sequence you would put in a game. By the way, remember, I think it was 3 weeks ago when I complained that we are on the goal line and we do 3 screen passes in a row that all fail, and then we go for a quarterback sneak and fail?
You should have been going for the. I mean, I did not see the game, so I don't know how close they were in the end zone.
Completely different game. This is a few weeks ago.
I know, a few weeks ago. Yeah, that's why I said I did not watch the game. But you have a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields. He was healthy at that time. Why aren't you trying to do a quarterback draw or a quarterback sneak?
Why are we calling
third down?
Why are we calling the exact same play 3 times in a row, multiple times in a season?
I don't know on that one, Mike. The only thing I can think of is that with Tyson Badgett being thrown in unexpectedly, you had to scale down the playbook. I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's
scale it down to 2 different plays.
Yeah.
One you just flipped aside.
Skeptical.
Rich, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I don't know that the Bears win another game this year. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to pick them to win games because they should win these games.
But you just don't know.
But I don't trust play calling anymore. By the way, if I'm the GM, I clear out the entire coaching staff. I call Lovie Smith and I say, hey, man, head coaching job's yours. Who do you want for your defense? Who do you want for your offense? Get us out of this bind. I call Jim Harbaugh. By the way, he's a Chicago boy. But
well, at least he has ties to the organization.
Right.
I don't think he's a Chicago
You're right. He's
boy.
not a
He
Chicago
has
boy.
ties to the he has ties to the
he
organization.
he was a player on the team.
And he's under heat right now from the NCAA for
Right. Sign stealing.
Sign stealing, supposedly.
So
Sign stealing, yeah.
So
maybe that's his way to get out of this Michigan contract, to part ways, because the NCAA sanctions are too much for the school to handle. That's his way out of that big contract extension that he got.
I don't know.
But will the Bears, if Jim Harbaugh is a coaching candidate, would the Bears pay him the amount of money that it's going to take to bring him to Chicago? Because typically the Bears just don't pay their coaches.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That is a big problem.
They're not going to break the bank for a coach.
The bigger problem, though, is we keep calling the same play 3 times in a row and expect a different result. Rich, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing more than once, expecting different results.
Okay, I'll step off the soapbox, but fire them all. And I don't even care that it's midseason, and I don't even care that we don't have a defensive coordinator, and we don't have our offensive coordinator is some no-name, and nobody else on the staff really. By the way, do you think Eberflus did that on purpose? Pick a whole bunch of guys that nobody's ever heard of so they can't fire you?
Well, I don't know. Being the defense,
because I'd fire them.
Yeah,
I'd fire him in a heartbeat.
Alan Williams was his linebackers coach when he was the defensive coordinator in Indy. So he brought along his buddy brought along a former coworker to be his defensive coordinator. And Luke Getsy was like the quarterback coach with Aaron Rodgers' Packers. So was Aaron Rodgers the reason why that? Because we've kind of seen since Aaron Rodgers left, the Packers' offense has kind of been uneven with LaFleur. With LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett, and even Nathaniel Hackett's performance without Aaron Rodgers has kind of been uneven. So, if anything, Aaron Rodgers made Getsy, Hackett, and LaFleur look really good. So, but you take away Aaron Rodgers from those people, they're not looking too good.
Yeah, but Mike McCarthy was propped up by 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yes, he was.
Okay, let's move on to the Thursday night game, Rich. How'd that go?
Well, it was the Jaguars and the Saints, and the Jaguars won 31-24. Mikey, you're 4-2 for Thursday night. I'm 6-1. Before we get on to Week 7 coverage, our shout out for the NFL Pick'em. Mike, you had the most correct picks with 12 points, and that was without picking the Kansas City Denver game. So you still won the week because of that. Second place was Zach Borcher's Captain Rory Fields of Dreams with 10 points. I came in third with 9 points, which tied me with Mr. Nichols.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Okay, Rich, let's head to Week 7.
That's right. All right, Mike. So lock of the week. I'm going to go with the Bills over the Patriots. The Patriots are playing some really bad football right now. And even though it's a divisional game, that Patriots team's looking like a mess to where people are even starting to talk about, is Bill Belichick going to be let go or resign because things are going so poorly in New England.
How long is his contract good for?
I don't know what his contract is off the top of my head, but I'd want to think with how much of a sustained success that he had in New England before this season, I was kind of thinking in the back of my head that he was going to be able to be the coach of that team for as long as he wanted to. But now, I'm not too sure. quite sure how much longer he can last. I think it could be a gradual transition to where maybe this year he loses his personnel power, to where he's got to bring somebody in to run the front office portion of his job, but still maybe have a say in draft and free agent signings. But now I'm starting to think that it wouldn't be that far-fetched of an idea to have Robert Kraft come out and say that winning matters. Sustained success matters. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go, or you can resign.
So apparently, the length of his contract,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows. He signed an extension. Nobody knows how long it's for. He signed it in 2013. Nobody knows the details of it. That's like
So it could be year to year. It could be a handshake agreement.
Yeah.
You can coach this team for as long as you want. Thanks for all those Super Bowls.
Yeah. So we may never know. We could. I mean, what could happen? This Bill Belichick could say, "Well, my salary, my contract's up. I'm gonna retire, and so long and thanks for all the fish."
Yep.
Like,
I'm going to retire, or I'm going to be a senior consultant
Yeah.
for the team.
Yeah.
An honorary front office position. I wish I'll help with the coaching search if you'd like me to.
yeah, and that 100% would be a great. Like, I could see him doing that. What I don't see happening is I don't see him being told, like, unceremoniously. I think it will be, they'll play it off as, well, it's the end of the contract and we're going to part ways. Or I'm retiring type thing. I don't think it'll be a public firing by any means.
No, I don't think it'll be a public firing either.
So,
New England's too classy for that. I think they
Well,
want public firing of
well,
somebody
the team is.
that's brought that.
Ownership is. Well, then again, he had a whole thing named after him that we don't discuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so who's your lock of the week?
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a stretch here.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the Lions over the Ravens.
That's a tough one for me, Mike, because I mean, if you take out their victory over the Chiefs, which was without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce,
Yep.
they really haven't faced that stiff of competition. So this is really their first game against a playoff caliber team.
And I think Dan Quinn.
Dan, oh, Coach Dan. Sorry, I can't think of his last name either. Off the top of my head.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
I think Dan Campbell is going to come in, and he's going to get these guys motivated. He's going to have them ready. He's proven that he knows what he's doing. I think he comes in and wins, and I think that's what's going to get him. Rich, this week upset special of the week is.
I really don't see a lot of upset specials on the line that I
saw
want to
3.
pick. That I want to pick.
Oh yeah, want to pick no.
That I want to pick. So I'm just going to go with the divisional game, and I'm going to go with the Falcons over the Buccaneers.
So I felt that there were a couple locks of the week that were divisional games that I didn't want to pick because you never know, and that's why even that pick that. As an upset, a divisional game is a great place to go because divisional games mean more to the underdogs than they do to the team favored most of the time. So I like that pick. I'm gonna pick, and this one's gonna hurt you a little bit, Rich, because I know you hate the team that I'm picking, but I'm gonna pick the Steelers over the Rams. Steelers haven't looked great. You're right, and you're gonna say that, and you're gonna say that the Rams are starting to put it back together. I don't think the Rams really have the lineup to make a real play at things, and I think the Steelers are fine. I think we're going to see the Steelers come out fighting hard and fighting fast, and that's why I think the Steelers are going to win that game. Rich,
That's fair.
the Bears play the Raiders. This is one of those games that I don't think the Bears. I don't know anymore. I don't know what to expect from the Bears. I said it earlier. I said I think I don't know if they win another game. I may pick them. I'm picking the Bears. I don't know if it's in Chicago. What's going on with the Raiders? But I don't know what I trust from the Bears at all. I don't trust this pick. But I don't trust picking the Raiders either.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I'm picking the Bears as well. We know that Jimmy Garoppolo's out.
Yep.
But
pretty boy.
Yeah, but you still got Devontae Adams lining up at wide receiver. You still got Josh Jacobs handling the rock behind as a running back.
Yeah.
And it's for those reasons, Mike. I think I'm going to flip the pick.
You're flipping the pick.
I'm going to flip the pick, and I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Okay.
Even if I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback.
You got enough talent over there. You trust it, and that's accurate. Running backs. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is. They just have to have a clean handoff. So you're right. You're probably right. I think they probably do win. I'm going to stick with the Bears just because I said it at the beginning. And I'll stay there.
For the record, Mike, your preseason, you did pick them to lose this game.
Well,
in the preseason,
I'm going to have to flip that.
Things changed.
Yeah. Okay.
Thursday Night Football, Mike, sees the Buccaneers go up to Buffalo.
This one, to me, is actually one of the easier games of the week to pick, and I'm picking the Bills.
I'm going to take the Bills, too. But the Buccaneers have looked a lot better than I thought they would at the beginning of the year. So I think that game could be a lot closer than I think.
Rich, let's do our top 5 and bottom 5 and where the Bears are in our power rankings because we are at 51 minutes, and I have some big stuff to talk about with esports, and we have our normal week. Or do you want to skip power rankings altogether? We haven't done them in a couple weeks.
We can do top 5, bottom 5. Because really, Mike, I'm really not sure what to make. I'm fairly confident with where I got teams 1 through 7. It's 8, 9, and 10 that I think are kind of tossed up, and I'm really not sure. But I'm confident in the 1 through 5.
Actually, let's go through 10. We'll do it quick because we'll just do some listings. I think the first few we're going to be pretty right on. Number 1, I got the San Francisco 49ers.
I kept the San Francisco 49ers there too. The Browns are a good defense, and they lost some key players. So I don't think that's a bad loss. I kept them at 1.
Yep.
Number 2, I put the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. Totally agree.
All right.
Number 3. Go ahead.
The Eagles.
Yeah, this is where I differ from you a little bit, Rich.
Okay.
I put the Detroit Lions.
All right. Okay. I have the Lions a little bit lower, not much.
Okay.
I kept the Eagles here because they were an undefeated team, but with their record dropping to 5-1, I kind of had to put them. That's what moved the Chiefs from 2 to 3. So I flipped those two from last week. Number 4, Mike, I put the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's not bad. I put the Eagles at 4, and then I put the Dolphins at 5.
I put the Lions at 5.
Okay, so our top 5, same teams, just different rankings. Number 6, I have the Buffalo Bills.
That's where I did as well. 7, I put the Ravens.
7 is where I have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
I think they
did not crack my top 10. Currently, I have them at number 13.
Okay, and number 8, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
I put the Dallas Cowboys at 8.
I put the Dallas Cowboys at 9. Who do you have at 9, Rich?
The Seahawks.
I have the Seahawks a little lower than that. I have them all the way down at 16.
Okay. And rounding out my top 10 are those Cincinnati Bengals, who have rebounded and have come back to the team that we thought they would be at the beginning of the year.
I have a team. My number 10 team is a shocker, Rich.
Okay.
And this is why I wanted to go to 10. 100% the reason why I wanted to go to 10.
Is it the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike?
No.
Okay.
It's way more shocking than that. I told you.
Houston Texans.
It is the Houston Texans.
Okay, that's a total guess. I did not bring up your ranking.
I totally have them at 10 strictly because they are playing better than I thought they would. And I think they currently have the best up-and-coming quarterback in the league.
That's a fair statement. I have the Texans down at number 15. I kind of want to see a little bit more. For me, when I took a look at the 3-2 teams, um, as I'm saying this, I almost got to flip it a little bit. But I took a look at the 3-2 teams, and I thought, all right, who out of the 3-2 teams are the best, and how they played throughout the year, and that's what shot the Bengals way up the rankings is their current win streak.
Yeah, and I can go.
I want to see a little bit more out of the Texans before I move them up because they have played a rather easy schedule.
Well, and
compared to the other teams.
The nice thing for me is that Houston doesn't play this week, so they can't get worse.
No,
but they can get better.
All right, Mike. Bottom 5. Do you want to go from 32 up or start at 28?
Let's go with 28.
28. I put the Arizona Cardinals.
I have the G-men here.
All right, I put the G-men at 27.
Okay. 29, I have the Denver Broncos.
I put the New England Patriots here.
Okay. At 30, this is where I have the Arizona Cardinals.
30, I put the Denver Broncos.
31, my Chicago Bears.
I put the Bears here as well.
Okay. And at 32, a team that can't scratch out a win, going to give us the number 1 overall pick, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I put the Panthers here too.
Okay.
But yeah, the only reason why I put the Giants over the Cardinals is because of that head-to-head matchup.
Yeah, and I can see that. I don't.
Giants beat the Cardinals.
I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for it at all. So, okay, we gave the top 5, bottom 5, and the Bears were in there. So let's head on to esports real quick.
Go ahead.
So this week, my team. First of all, the Okoboji Pioneers Esports. You like this logo, Rich? You like it?
I do.
Could be yours. We're gonna have our fundraiser. Hopefully by the end of next week, I'll have it approved. The following week we'll go live and we'll do 2 weeks worth of it, and then we'll sell. Then we'll put the online store on here. I got it. The bad news is I think it's flat rate shipping at $10. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that is I don't know 100%. I'm still working on that one. But better than that. This past Tuesday, we faced Anamosa. And in that match, I let my sub squad, which is everybody below my top 5. So in Super Smash Brothers, you play five head-to-head games.
Okay.
In a round, and 2 rounds wins you a match. Okay?
Okay.
First round, my sub squad beat their varsity squad in the first round. In the second round, I then put in my lowest ranked player in my team. And with a few other losses that hurt us, we ended up only losing by 2 points. If she would have gotten 2 more points, or if I would have played another player who would have gotten those 2 more points. By the way, that would have been a swing of 3 the way that it works in there. We would have won that match, or even if we would have tied, by the way, I still think we would have won the tiebreaker. And my JV / subs would have beat their varsity. It's great. My team the esports team for Okoboji High School is looking awesome. Let's go Pioneers. I am super excited, and man, it's going to be great. At this point, we're still undefeated for full matches. We'll see what this week brings. If we win on Tuesday, we likely get a bye directly into state.
So will state be you're actually on site all playing together?
So state we go down to we go down to Denver to the Rexplex down there, and we do we do matches head to head in person.
Nice.
And if we do that and we win, it's gonna be great. I'm so happy for these guys. And then next Thursday we actually are having a college team come in to do some matches, And I think my guys could hold their own there, and we might be able to see some scholarships go through.
Nice.
So,
all right, so more on that when we reconvene next week.
Yeah.
So, Mike, we got to give some spoiler alerts.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, as we're going to talk Masked Singer. So if you're a Masked Singer fan and you haven't seen the episode yet, this week's episode yet, feel free to tune out and we'll talk to you next week. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Same place you're watching. If you're watching on listening on the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, spoiler, go away. We'll see you later. Those are the ways you can watch/listen to us anywhere you find a podcast, YouTube or Facebook. Find us there. We're there for you. Okay, Rich, this week we just watched it today. It was great. The lineup this time, way better than we've seen in a long time, especially to have 3 solid male singers.
Mm-hmm. It really was.
Wow.
And it really was. I mean, other than the person that got let go, that got voted off or let go, it's going to be tough.
Well, even the person that got voted, the person that got voted off was by far and away the worst. But I think the person that got voted off was better than some of the people in the first group.
The person that went to the showdown. You mean the?
No, I'm talking the person voted off.
Oh, okay.
I think the person voted off did better than either of the 2 that were eliminated in the first group.
I disagree on that one.
Maybe not.
I thought that they were the weaker competitor, and if they had been with the Group A, they probably would have been. They would have made it to the second night.
Easily
with the Group A singer.
Probably.
They wouldn't be in the. They wouldn't have made it moved on as the top 2 competitors in that group.
So, Rich, we saw. First, we saw the eagle, the hawk, right?
Yeah, the hawk. Then you had the husky, the tiki, and probably not in this order, but the tiki, and then the 4th competitor of the night was the royal hen.
The royal hen was 3rd, and then the tiki was 4th. You are correct that was not the correct order. Everything else was right. Then we see the hawk versus the royal hen in the showdown.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst competitor of the week, the royal hen.
Yeah, she went up against a stacked lineup of singers, though.
I will also say, this almost disproves my theory that they are 100% rigging this, because if they were rigging it 100%, the female would not have gone home first. They would not have let the lone female go away right away.
In the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they would have kept her in at least 1 week. But with that being said, take it off. Rich, tell us who had to take it off.
Was the iconic tennis and women's rights activist Billie Jean King.
Yep. And it was Elton John night, which actually suited her even more, because Philadelphia Freedom is a song that Elton John wrote specifically for her.
Yeah, and how about Dr. Ken?
Yeah.
His 3rd straight correct guess.
I find him annoying most of the time, but this year, part of me wants to just let him win every week and sweep the entire season. Yeah, I don't think that will happen.
I really like that he's dropped the whole stick of, I know exactly who this is. He's dropped that, and it's actual good.
It's great guesses
during the first run. I think it's this person, and because this and this and this.
Yeah. Yep.
In the panel, it's not.
He still does that, but it's for the joke guesses, the first impressions and the joke guesses. But man, Ken is doing great. Honestly, with the way most years go, he's already won the Golden Ear.
Yeah, if they were still doing the Golden Ear, he would totally have it written up totally have it in the bag. So, Mike, who was your favorite performer of the night?
I like the Husky, man.
You liked the Husky?
Yeah.
My favorite was the Tiki.
Man, I have my thoughts. I still think I'm still I like the Husky, and I think I know who it is, but we'll share that for later.
Yep. All right, Mike. So because you got an early morning and you've had a long week, Mike, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But before we do, Mike, if they're watching us here live, and they want to take us on the road because they got a long road trip. We need to catch up on some past episodes. Where can they find it?
You can find us anywhere where you find your podcasts. That would be Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Music app now has the podcasts.
All right, Mike. If they're listening to us out in podcast land, but they don't like Mike Zuckerberg and Facebook, where else can they see the video feed of our shows?
Stick it to Mark Zuckerberg by watching us on YouTube.
All right, Mike. And tell them one more time where they can find the weekly poll questions.
You can find them at facebook.com/fans of balls and stick. Rich, what's it time to do?
Mike, before we roll that outro, do we have any live on-air comments?
Nope.
All right, Mike.
Do you have any shout-outs, personal or other?
Mike, I kind of gave my shout-out at the top of the show, talking about how Brady did at State. Do you have any shout-outs, Mike?
I feel like I should, but I don't. I don't think I do.
Okay, Mike, then go ahead and roll that out.
Wait, I do.
Oh, no.
5 days from today.
Gotcha.
My mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Sue. We love you.
Yep. Happy birthday, Sue. All right, Mike. Finally, go ahead and roll that outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.